Good morning, everyone. This is Nikachu, Merfolk Master, and it is once again time for another beautiful morning with all of you Magic fans. We're going to talk some Magic today, like we always do. So go brew yourself up a cup of Magic. I got my coffee. You know how I love my coffee. If I do not get the coffee, then I do not do anything. My brain does not work. I do not function. I'm not gonna. I do not see any of the lines. I miss all the lines. Let me tell you, I need the coffee. I'm definitely hyped up on it, and yeah, let's have some great conversations. It's day 38. 38 of we've been. I can't even believe it. We're almost approaching like 8 weeks of doing this. This is amazing. Let's have another conversation of Magic the Gathering. You have questions? Let me know. You got deck lists. Send me your deck list. We can review it here on this show, on this channel. And we already got the crowd coming in. We got Harrison Jurenko. We got Olaf the Snowman. Kyle Lynch. So we're back to YouTube. We're just for today. Just for today. There is a bit of a protest going on that I am also going to be part of. Called Twitch hashtag Twitch Blackout. If you want to know more about that, go look it up. It's full of keywords that YouTube doesn't really like me saying in video. It's going to suppress everything in the algorithm. So just for today, we're protesting against Twitch, and we're going to be on. Fortunately, I got a YouTube channel, so the show can still go on. So the morning show is going to be today, but I've made the decision that I'm going to cancel the gameplay for Wednesday because I do not want to mess with my OBS settings in order to get it online. Oh, I hear some lawn mowing in the background. I apologize for the mowing of the lawn if anyone can hear it. But we're here, we can still have a nice, wonderful morning together. So let's all get together and have some fun. Good morning, everyone. Let's see some noob deck foes Nikachu's review. That's right. Anything and everything is welcome. Good morning, Niels Nielsen. Change of venue. Yes, just for today, we're going to change the venue in because of the Twitch protest. Good morning, Thomas. Good morning, Ron Beasley. Alejandro Reinaga. Hey, Nikachu, when are we going to have Nikachu news back? When I get inspired for something. You know, I almost had something for... Those videos take a lot of time to make. Way more than any of my other videos. And in addition to that, you know, it's better if I have like something inspired to say about them. But thanks for asking. And Corey and Kai, good morning to you as well. My mod ability, you don't have mod abilities on Twitch? Well, you have mod abilities here. You got everything. How is everyone doing? How are you doing this morning? I'm doing great. I started my morning great. Salud was making a lot of noise. Salud might still be making noise. Salud, where are you? Salud's not here. Salud was here. Salud left. Salud bailed on me here. Didn't want to be part of the morning show. Rodrigo Sybin, good morning. Do you ever thought about being a tribal master instead of only a merfolk one? But yes and no. The problem is there's just so many tribal decks out there. I mean, we saw a little bit out of it with Troll Tuesday that I splashed and dabbled into other tribes because I've always been curious, you know, what if we design elves like this? What if we make fairies like this? Why don't we just take these decks in a different direction that no one's tried before? Okay, fairies, you've tried black before. Have you tried any of the other splashes? You've got Pestermite. Why not run Kiki Jiki? How would that work out? And worked out great for us. And unfortunately, no one's really tried to innovate above and beyond that. But there's always like another way of building the deck. Because I remember how before I started Nikachu MTG, what Merfolk used to look like and how the deck looks like now is now completely different from that. So there's definitely a lot of innovation that could be had. But the thing is, like, I can't spend so much time on any particular tribal deck. I know the zombies and vampire community, they really appreciated it when I played vampires and zombies because like there's like no content out there at all, and I definitely think that there's something out there for vampires. The vampires and even zombies, they've got something. There's something there, but I just can't put enough time into doing that because I mean, people like this channel because I am an expert in merfolk, but if I do all the tribal decks at once, I will be like mediocre at all of them. So that's basically the reason why I only stick to one archetype. I'm specialized in this one thing. Yay, we're back on YouTube. We need Hooglin to freak out in order to get Nikachu news. That's one thing that could happen. It's 6 p.m. Good morning, I guess. Well, it's good morning to some people in the world, but hey, no matter where you are in this world, if it's the morning, if it's the afternoon, if it's the evening, grab up your cup of magic, whether that magic is coffee or tea, I don't know, hot chocolate, Slurpee. This channel might turn into Slurpee and MTG soon. If it starts getting hot enough outside, I'd be all for it. So, yeah, Slurpee. So let's just brew up whatever you're comfortable with, and let's talk some Magic today. So Mitchell Russo has some sad news. Sadly, I quit paper Magic due to COVID and me rotating out to China for the next year. Maybe I could hunt down some of those foreign foils people like so much. And yeah, you definitely can find that sort of stuff. And if I remember correctly, and I don't know if it's still true, but probably still is, that the Chinese cards are worth a little bit more in the European market. They like the fancy stuff. They're used to foreign cards. But if you're going to play with foreign cards, why not play with some Asian cards? Whereas in the American market, they're worth actually a lot less. It's very hard to sell Asian cards in the American market because the Americans are like, this isn't English. I don't want to own it. I don't want to buy it. So just be careful with that. So not everyone is looking for those Asian cards. Like whenever I try to sell Japanese cards to a vendor in North America, they're like, they don't give me anything. It's like it's worth $50 and they offer me $2. I'm like, okay, if that's how you're gonna play this game with me, sure, no deal. Deal or no deal, no deal. Just a heads up. Oh my god, oh my OMFG, I was able to catch a coffee in MTG. Yes, you absolutely can. Welcome, good morning, Bane. Is anyone else interested in a review of merfolk deck lists from past to present? If you can get me links to them, I can definitely look at them and stuff like that. Morning, Nikachu, are you looking forward to get early access for the new set? Well, I applied for the content creator program, but just very recently. We're talking like 3 days ago. So I still need to get accepted. But even then, I don't know what I would do with the early access because I don't do that sort of thing. I don't play with the new cards. I like just grabbing new singles and then jamming them into decks. By the way, word on the street, thanks to Squatchief, the YouTuber streamer, he's tested what is it? Conspicuous Snoop in the Goblin deck, and it's broken. It's broken on Magic the Gathering Online, and I don't mean broken in like the overpowered way. It will restart the game. It will screw up the system because I don't know. I guess when the library gets shuffled, when you start searching with Bogart Harbinger, that Conspicuous Snoop might be trying to copy every single card in the library as you're searching or as you're shuffling. Whatever the situation is, the card is not working on Magic the Gathering Online. The combo doesn't work. He's given a clear warning to everyone that's trying to get into this combo. It will probably be fixed by tomorrow. The Magic the Gathering Online developer team is pretty nimble and fast on these issues, and will fix it up as soon as possible. Good morning, Lord Magicus. Favorite non-staple land cycle? What do you mean by non-staple? Like, what's my favorite one? The problem is, like, as a blue player, there's a lot of bad ones. Like, there is no good land cycle for blue. The best land that they ever printed was Tolarian Academy, and it's banned! It's banned everywhere! You just get to play it restricted in Vintage. I mean, in retrospect, why isn't Gaia's Cradle banned with it? Like, come on, is Gaia's Cradle really fair? I mean, maybe. But, and like you go back to, you know, the land, like every single land cycle is just terrible. It's really, really bad. Favorite non-staple land cycle? I guess maybe the Eldraine one, if that counts. Where we got that Castle Vantress, that Scryland. That's pretty cool utility. No, not a huge downside for jamming that into your deck. So I think I like that. Don't talk to me until I've had my magic. That's right. Don't talk to me. Let me get that magic flowing through my veins. I want the magic flowing through my veins. I want to feel it to every inch of my body. Oh. Delicious, delicious taste of my favorite brand coffee. Instant brand coffee. Oh, delicious instant brand coffee. Who is it? Who knows? Who knows? It could be anything. Could be absolutely anything. Alejandro Renega. What M21 cards will be more impactful into Modern? Which ones you like for Merfolk? So far, I have not seen anything that I like for Merfolk. Like, there's nothing in there that helps us. But more for sure, Conspicuous Snoop is going to be the game changer for Conspicuous Snoop. This card is most definitely going... Oh, random letter in there. This card is definitely going to be a big game changer in Modern, I think. I think it's going to put goblins over the top. And not to mention, there are 2 spirits coming out that are also could potentially be upgrades to the spirit deck in Modern. You don't have to go Bant anymore. You could go clearly blue-white, and that will be like a really big deal. And so the spirits deck is fine. I think Merfolk can compete with that. The new Shacklegeist looks really bad for us, because that is like just a tempo breaker. Like, Shacklegeist can tap our creatures. So, I mean, of course, they have to tap the creatures down before we attack. And so that might still give us the opportunity to attack through a bunch of stuff, because they just tap down some creatures. They don't have blockers anymore. So maybe the games will still play out in our favor. But this card looks super scary. Comes out early. It's still a flyer, and interacts with our board really well. Like, incredibly well. And this one is just going to be devastating, because Goblins is a pretty tough matchup. We don't have, like, Goblins gets dismantled by removal. Well, Merfolk players don't really have that removal, so we have to deal with every single creature that comes out, and the impact of those creatures get worse and worse. So this might look like we have to play with 4 dismembers. Looking at Conspicuous Snoop, it might be time. If this is a real deck, we need to interact with it big time, or we need that damping matrix. Damping matrix, people. Maybe this is time to play with all the damping matrices. This is a card people don't really know about. Like, damping matrix, activated abilities of artifacts and creatures can't be activated unless they're mana abilities. So that would shut down the Snoop immediately. They could still play creatures off the top of their deck. That's not to be underestimated. That's ridiculous card advantage. Does anyone... Okay, what is that card? What is the blue enchantment? It's like 5 mana. And what's the blue enchantment that costs 5 mana, people? That you can play cards from the top of your library. I can't remember what it's called, though. It's like mostly a commander card. Future Sight, right? Is it Future Sight? Here, Future Sight. Okay, look at this. Play with the top card of your library revealed. You may play the top card of your library. This card costs 5 mana. Triple blue. This card costs 5 mana. What the hell does this cost? 2 mana? And it's a body? Oh, and it gains abilities of the top card of your library? That is ridiculous. That is outright stupid. So anyway, I think this card is grossly undercosted, grossly overpowered. The fact that you can only cast goblin cards off the top of your library, oh, whoop-de-doo. The deck is mostly goblins anyway. So Conspicuous Snoop is a pretty busted card. Not to mention, like, they could probably play with fetch lands in their deck to help shuffle their library. I don't know if they're going to play fetch lands, but, you know, fetch lands or any sort of shuffle effect helps you get, like, better views of the top of your library, dig to more creatures. Like, you literally can just play this thing and then snap off a bunch of creatures off the top of your library, refill your board. That's definitely in the range of Conspicuous Snoop. So anyway, this card is going to be a big game. I think it's going to be a big game changer, especially since you can center a combo around it. It's a turn 3 combo kill, and a lot of decks might have to be built to beat this card. Of course, creature removal will do it. So it might be just an era of like Splinter Twin all over again, where we have to have a lot of removal for that combo. for the combo, the combo, the combo. But anyway, that's what I think is happening. Where am I? Good morning, TuxDev. Oops. Yeah. Scott Maya says, oh, by the way, if you have any questions, remember 3 question marks before the question mark, 3 question marks after the question mark, and I will get to it. Nikachu, you've always said that archetypes don't always die. People just stop playing them. I just picked up Pitch Blue and been playing to decent success. You see? See what needs to happen is you need to get enough results that you get the attention of somebody else that wants to replicate them. There are people like Shock Troopa that consistently win with Mono Blue Tron like year after year, but still no one wants to play the damn thing because the other Tron decks are easier or whatever. Maybe the sideboard strategy is not so clear and obvious from outside. So anyway, there's a lot more possibilities than what's popular. What is popular? I will say in general, what's popular is powerful and is easier to play, but that doesn't mean you can't have success with other decks if you put the work into it. Does Pauper Merfolk exist? Absolutely not. Not a damn chance. If we didn't have Eldrazi Tron, would we be the police of Modern? Very unlikely. Very, very unlikely. I would say Merfolk doesn't do a good job for forcing any issue. We are the ones that adapt to other decks. We are not very good at being a police. If anything, I would say, I mean, maybe if the deck got powerful enough in some certain situations, because when we build the deck to be really good, the problem is we're constantly changing, and there's this giant gap of time where we're evolving to get to a point where we're winning, and in that gap, people can do whatever they want. So I would say we're a pretty bad police of the format. Good morning, Skythrone. Is Conclave Mentor going to see play in creature-based Hardened Scales deck, the Abzan way? I'm not sure what this is. A new card from M21. So Conclave Mentor says, if one or more +1/+1 counters would be put on a creature you control, that many +1/+1 counters are put on the creature instead. When Conclave Mentor dies, you gain life equal to its power. So here's the problem with this card for Hardened Scales. It's 2 colors. Now, is that a big problem? I don't know for sure, but I can tell you that the Hardened Scales deck, at the very least, is like already a 2-color deck because they're playing with things like, they're playing colorless lands, So is adding the 3rd color going to be worth it? Is it going to help? Maybe. It could be. This is also at 2 mana. This is when they want to start playing their Steel Overseers, their Arcbound Ravagers, their, what's it called? Walking Ballistas. So taking up the 2 mana slot when they already want to get their game going. Turn 1, they play their Ancient Stirrings and their Hardened Scales and whatever. This is still a card that's setting up further turns. So it's possible the effect is good, but it's way more mana intensive because it's 2 colors, and also it's awkward on the curve. So that's all. If that's not a problem, then maybe we'll see play. Otherwise, I do see it's not a clear include. It's not a slam dunk, throw it in there. Tyler Lee, love your show. Great content, great advice. I'm always a day behind. So glad to catch you live. Thank you for showing up, Tyler. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for complimenting the show. I appreciate it. And Corey and Kai, I was playing Historic Merfolk and usually do well, but I always have a hard time with Mono Red with Torbran and Cavaclade of Calamity. Do you have any tips? Okay, so Mono Red with Torbran is is difficult no matter what, because Torbran is like... Torbran just deals a ton of damage, and unlike Modern, where we have... So if anyone's not familiar with Torbran, basically if a red source deals damage, it deals that much damage +2. So it's like any one particular damage is like a lightning bolt, and anything like 2, like it hurts. Torbran is very strong. I don't really have any good advice against Torbrand. You're probably going to lose to it if it comes out. Maybe the best solution is trying to steal it, because bouncing it doesn't work very well. So if you're aggressive enough, and then you can tempo them out when they play Torbrand and you bounce it, maybe that will work. But in general, a Torbrand deck has a bunch of creatures out. They play the Torbrand, they attack with everything, they deal a ton of damage. I think this is just a bad matchup. We don't have access to Dismember to blow this thing up, nor would Dismember be that great against a red deck anyway. And Cavalclave of Calamity. What is this? Cavalclave of Calamity. And by the way, it's okay to have bad matchups. Now I don't know what Cavaclade. What is this, people? What is this card? Of Calamity. Aha, here we go. Cavalclade. Whenever a creature you control with power 1 or less attacks, Cavalclade of Calamity deals 1 damage to the player or planeswalker that creature is attacking. Like, this is just too hard for us to interact with. I would say Mono Red is just the edge against Merfolk in general, because their curve is lower. They have more interaction than us, and of course, this is just dealing a whole lot more damage. My only piece of advice is stay on defense and hope they don't draw Torbrand. And once you've neutralized the position, make a counter attack. It's not going to be a good matchup if they're playing Torbrand. It will be fine if they're not, but of course you're talking about Torbrand. It's just going to be a bad matchup, and you just gotta suck it up. You don't beat everything. Try to beat everything else. It's okay. It's okay to have bad matchups. It's okay. We're allowed to have bad matchups and win overall. I've lived with that philosophy my entire life, because like there was this huge period of time where the Merfolk community is scared of Affinity in Modern. They need to have answers to Affinity. They need like 5 to 6 cards on their sideboard for Affinity. Where's my Hercules recalls? We need to splash white for Stony Silence. And for the most part, I just dump the matchup. I don't care. I'm just going to lose to it. I'm going to lose to Affinity. I'm going to lose to Lantern Control. I can just dump those matchups. I'm just going to win against everything else. And it's worked very well for me. Just make sure you're allowed to like lose to 10% of your matchups. It's fine. That's okay. Just make sure you win against the other 90%. So and then, by the way, you can either dodge that 10% in a tournament, or you just hope you get lucky. Like if I'm up against Torbrand Burn or Torbrand Mono Red, I'm not going to lose 100% of the time. Maybe I lose 70% of the time, but I'm going to win 30% of the time. Just hope that you get lucky. That's all. That's all. That's my advice. Druggy Yarza, why aren't you on Twitch? Why aren't we on Twitch? That is a very good question. So if you're just joining us today, I am participating in the protest. I don't know if you're familiar with it. The hashtag Twitch blackout that is just happening only today on Wednesday. So yeah, look that up. It's basically trying to strong arm Twitch into like creating a better community for Twitch. What do you think about Merfolk blue, green, white with Mariner? So I know Merfolk Joe and Rothgar have been working on this deck. I'm not entirely sold by the Mariner package. I am sold by like blue, green. But like, hey, if they keep putting out results, then it's totally fine. And the cost to going to Bant may not be as large as we think it is. And like I've sometimes made like it will be a little bit more expensive. That's for sure. So I'm just hoping if Mariner is worth it against Burn, I will say this is good. And I know Mariner does put a beating on Burn so long as they are choked on mana. But if they curve out to 3 and 4 mana, it's usually not that big of a deal. But it can hurt them. It most definitely can hurt them. I've definitely had like a Mariner in play, and it's like it just makes it really hard and really awkward for them to make any plays. And if you can interact with them in any other way with like force negation or counter spells or anything like that, then you really take over the game. So definitely possible. They're already getting results, and that's all I have to say. It's possible. Anything is possible. If you get results, anything is possible. Good morning, Chow Azamba. Azambuya. Mitchell Russo, not sure if you follow the art community. Not really. Do you have thoughts on the recent events surrounding Therese Nielsen and Noah Bradley? I do not, because a lot of those keywords are not approved by YouTube. So I do not have any thoughts about either of these two things. But thanks for asking. My favorite brand of coffee, something something. That's right. That is my favorite brand of coffee, as it is. And with that, I should take a nice, delicious sip of that delicious something something coffee. I love it. Stefan Min, hello. Well, hello there. I'm glad to catch you on my lunch break today. You're well. Yeah, it's great. Thank you very much, Jesse. Nice to see you again as well. And look at the participants. Where are all of you on Twitch? Like, I only get like 40 of you on Twitch. I get 83 of you on YouTube. Just don't wait for the notifications. Just go to Twitch and find out. Or how about this? I have a question for everyone. If I advertise the show on Twitter and Facebook, does that help all of you? Do you follow when you do that? I haven't been giving notifications for a while now because I'm just hoping you all know where to find me and when. Does it help that I give notifications on both Twitter and Facebook? Do you follow them? Is that how you found the show today? Or like, how do you find the show? Because I know Twitch does not send notifications out to everyone. They're pretty slow with that. And I don't depend on them. That's why I advertise that, hey, this show is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. And if you want to find it, you find it over here, twitch.tv/Nikachu MTG. So thank you very much for showing up today. So let's just quickly look. I don't really use Twitter or Facebook. I just checked YouTube. So I just randomly are all subscribers. Do one for YouTube with a link. That would be nice. But the idea is I'm trying to get to partner on Twitch. And that partnership requires that I need 75 average viewers. Look, we got 88 here, but on Twitch only about 40 to 45 of you show up, and so someone found me on Twitter. Okay, that's nice. Yeah, I follow on Facebook but hate Twitch, so generally do not watch anyway. All right, fair enough. Thanks for the honesty. I don't really use Twitter or Facebook, just checked YouTube. I like YouTube more. You know what, honestly, I like YouTube more too. Banned from Twitch. All right. I don't use YouTube, but you're here. I wouldn't be here on YouTube without Twitter notification. All right. Yes, it helps. I'm only here to make it today only because it's a holiday in Montreal today. Oh yeah, okay. I don't use Twitter. It's filled with crazy people. That's my favorite part of Twitter. You know, Twitter has turned into my second favorite piece of social media. My favorite being YouTube. Low madcap skills. University schedule is weird sometimes. Yes, it is. YouTube sucks for live so much. But I'm looking at the numbers now. It looks pretty good. I'll watch you here. I won't use Twitch. Sounds like a lot of people are just protesting Twitch. I like YouTube. I don't use Twitch. I'm not a Twitch person. Screw Twitch. I'll watch here. I won't use Twitch. I browse YouTube regularly when bored at work. Reformed one trick reporting for duty. Oh, is that you? I think I forgot the original name. I should have connected the dots. My brain ignores Twitch notifications because you're competing with more nerds for my attention there. But Twitch is so much better for live. Notification on YouTube is helpful. I know YouTube's pretty good with the notification stuff. I'm more on YouTube, but I follow you on Twitch. Thank you very much. Okay, so whatever, just curious. Just curious. Okay, so let's get back to the questions. Where are my questions? Oh, Niels Nielsen. Okay, so Niels Nielsen asked, if there was no Eldrazi-tron, what would be the police? Oh, definitely Snow Control. Snow Control would hands down be the police. It's already debatably a second police of the format, just crippling a lot of other decks. So what would be the police of Modern if there was no Eldrazi-tron, which I do believe is the police? probably some version of snow control. Definitely going to do it. Let's see. Paul Martin asks, Nikachu, thoughts on Chandra's Incinerator enabling possible mono red burn since mono red has a low curve than stock Boros? Let's look up Chandra's Incinerator. Oh yeah, I forgot about this card. This is gonna be interesting to see out of burn. So you're talking about mono red prowess or mono red burn? No, actually, sorry. It needs to be burn because we need to deal damage to the opponent. So I think it's too high of a cost to remove the white spells. Like, Boros Charm is a big deal, and Lightning Helix is a big deal. Lightning Helix is a huge tempo swing, buys you time, deals damage, and Boros Charm is just a really good rate for 2 mana for 4 damage. You don't got that in anything else. And you need to be as efficient as possible while dealing the maximum amount of damage as possible. So I think this is still going to be fine in a normal deck. I don't think there's anything wrong with Chandra's Incinerator in the Boros deck. I think you would lose a lot getting rid of the white. You'd lose Core Firewalker. You lose Rest in Peace. You lose Path to Exile. Boros Charm, Lightning Helix. Like, it's not like we're losing 2 cards. We're dumping a lot of useful cards here. So I think we are better off staying with Boros. Because I don't know what you gain with mono red. The curve is lower. Well, is the curve lower? Because if you go mono red and like, what are you replacing the Lightning Helix with? You end up finding that you're going to be replacing it with more expensive spells. Things like Fires of the Firebrand. I definitely screwed up that name. But when you start replacing all the Boros cards, you find that you end up fitting in more like expensive cards. So I don't think it's going to be so clear that going mono red will be better than going Boros. But thanks for asking. Why aren't we on Twitch anymore? Well, we still are on Twitch, but not for today. We're going to be part of the Twitch blackout protest just for Wednesday. We're going to be back there tomorrow. Don't worry. I'm not going anywhere. But you know, I will say this. If my morning show consistently has half the people as I do on YouTube, then I am going to dump the morning show on Twitch, and we're going to exclusively do it on YouTube. And I will do my gameplay streams exclusively on Twitch, because this is like, look at how many people we have. We have 94 people watching here. I need those 94 people on Twitch. But you know what? We still have a really good turnout on Twitch, so I appreciate that. I won't be switching back anytime soon. I still need to warm up to Twitch. People need to find out where I am and how I do there. But if I want that 75 average, the morning show can sometimes drag my average down because I'm only getting about 40 to 50 people there. But we're just starting out. So we're just starting out. We'll find out. I got to grow on Twitch. Got to grow. Niels Nielsen, why do you think Gruul midrange is played so much? Because it's easy and it's powerful. Simple as that. If you're talking about historic on Arena, it's easy, straightforward, and powerful. That's a really good combination to have. So even people who are not even very good at Magic can get most of the win rate out of a deck like that. When it's powerful and easy to play and there's not a lot of room for error, that is a winning recipe for people to gravitate to it. Lord Magic is trying to help me out here. Here's a challenge. What about a Lordless Merfolk deck? Oh my god, what does this look like? Lordless? In the end, it would probably be something like Wizards. I would make some sort of Wizard deck with Merfolk, because like I would have to leverage the most I can out of the Wizard cards. If this question is inappropriate, just ignore me. Do you think Wizards secretly dislike Merfolk as a creature type? I don't think they secretly dislike Merfolk. They've given us a lot. Like, it's easy to focus on the downsides. They've definitely been like little reserved. They you know, when they created this fire design, they definitely didn't create the fire design when they were thinking about when designing merfolk cards. So that sucks that we're not like getting anything during this fire design era. But for the most part, it seems like they are a little bit more reserved to give us like a really good pushed card. Maybe they play tested a Merfolk Champion of the Parish and found it, hey, Merfolk is now just a really stupid, powerful deck. We can't do this. Maybe, but you know what? Like, we're still lingering at like 1% of the metagame. I think it would be fair to give us something. You know, you look at what Humans has. It has like, what's it called? It has, they've got Reflector Mage, which is like a superior Harbinger of the Tides. They got Champion of the Parish, which is a superior like Benthic Biomancer. They've got Evasion. They got Prison-like Elements. You know, they could give Merfolk a little something to like boost up their numbers. I don't think they hate it. I don't think they hate them, though. They've thrown us a lot of bones. And the fact that they designed Merfolk versus Goblins, the set, had crushed the price of Merfolk. Like, Merfolk costs nothing, basically, to buy into. It's super cheap on paper and even on and online. The only things that cost money are things like Mutavault, Aethervault, Cavern of Souls. So... and we can like work around those pieces. And even like Aether Vial is not the most like expensive card of all time. I mean, the price of an Aether Vial in general is cheaper than a fetch land. So I mean that we've got that going for us. So I think they've helped the Merfolk community in a lot of different ways. Not all the ways that we want it to work out for us. It'd be nice if they just give us a strictly powerful deck. Good morning, Madcap Skills. Good morning. And good morning to everyone who's showing up today for our delicious cup of... we're having a great conversation of Magic the Gathering. Thank you, everyone, for showing up today. I really appreciate it. Having a great conversation as usual. Chad Duchet. Wait, are we on Twitch or YouTube? I'm not on Twitch, am I? I don't think I'm broadcasting on Twitch. I'm just because I'm not allowed to. I can't broadcast at the same time. I'm actually in a funny situation. Partners, if you're a Twitch partner, you cannot stream anywhere except Twitch. But if you're an affiliate, which I am, I can stream anywhere, but I cannot stream simultaneously on Twitch. Like I can't stream Twitch and YouTube at the same time, but I can stream on Twitch, end it, stream on YouTube, and you know, do whatever. So that's what basically we're doing today. We are on YouTube. Tobias Merkert says, no, YouTube notifies me, and I don't plan to come in. I just come in randomly when I see it, and I have enough time to give a little attention. Awesome. Your little attention is appreciated. Wow, it's been a long time since I've been here. It's been a while. Remember, if you have any questions, 3 question marks before the question, 3 question marks after the question gets my attention as I'm scrolling through all the YouTube comments. And there's millions of them. Oh, I got a super chat. Don't forget to install Untapped app for Arena. I mean, I have it installed, but I don't think I've logged into their service because I see it like show up. But I don't know if I like this this app. It's putting like these stats and stuff on my HUD, my display, and I don't know if I really don't like. And they're sort of useless stats, like how much mana I have left in my deck. Like I don't really care about that stuff. It's not as useful as I thought it was, but thanks for like suggesting it, and maybe I have to fully I need to register for that app because I've downloaded the app, I've installed it, I believe I've connected it properly, but I've not registered in the thing. Where am I here? Where did I leave off? Okay, I'm just going to jump in here. What are you planning to play today? So I've decided to we're not going to have a gameplay stream because I don't want to screw around with my OBS settings in order to stream on YouTube. And then I have to like move things around and get the chat working. So I'm not going to stream gameplay today. We're going to stream gameplay again on Twitch. So I'm just going to have I'll have a slightly extended coffee and MTG today to compensate, but there will be no gameplay today. Thanks for asking, though. But there will be gameplay again on Friday on Twitch at the usual time. Nikachu, what do you think about counterspells in the modern meta? Is it viable to build the interaction of a deck almost only on counterspells? Is Dismember a must in mono blue? So I think counterspells, for the most part, as a permission strategy, is dead. It is a dead strategy. The only way, like the closest that you can get to some strategy like that is more or less like Blue Moon in some ways. They've got a lot of counterspells, and also I think the snow decks are very close. Like counterspells are just good against combo decks more or less right now. It's not good against anything else. There's just too many ways of beating it, either through Ether Vial, mana efficiency, playing at flash speed, Cavern of Souls, creature lands, just raw. Like the counterspells have to have more card advantage as well. Like, and you see people using Ether Gust now. Well, like, why are they using Ether Gust? Why do we see these blue control decks use Ether Gust? This is a super popular card in sideboards today. You know, this is like the remand of 2020. Choose target spell or permanent that's red or green. Its owner puts it on top or the bottom of their library. This beats uncounterable spells. That's why this card is so popular and so effective. So you can like Ether Gust a particular permanent for that one extra turn, or then you can like Field of Ruin them afterwards to shuffle the top card back into their library. You know, this beats things like Primeval Titan decks that are trying to get the Primeval Titan into play uncounterably with Cavern of Souls. It's an acknowledgement that counterspells are just bad now. They're just bad. And that was like one of the best parts of playing blue. That was like it's part of its identity that it could counterspell things, and now it just cannot do that anymore. The counterspells are just so awful, and anything that's relatively good is just so much more expensive than anything else. So like counterspells are basically only effective, I don't know, in standard. I don't think you can build a strictly permission deck unless you're willing to take some really bad matchups. When they're like, I've had so many free wins. Again, like I just play one Cavern of Souls and then that's it. The game's over. You know, I have those sort of games. Cavern of Souls, Merfolk. Play Merfolk. My opponent does nothing. Play another Merfolk. My opponent does nothing. Play another Merfolk. My opponent does nothing. And it's like they didn't even play any cards. They just let their life total go to 0 from 20 to 0. And that's because their hand was loaded with counter spells. And, you know, I'm saying that as the perspective of the Merfolk player. Well, what about the humans player? What about the other mana efficient decks like Burn and stuff like that can play at instant speed at the end of your turn? I mean, there's a lot of decks like this. So I think counterspells are, I wouldn't say they're dead, but they're now very situational. And you cannot, if you want to play a deck full of counterspells, you need to have a good clock, I would say. You need to have a really fast clock, and that's why you see Blue Moon decks play with Thing in the Ice right now. And this is like a pretty good way of making use of your counterspells, even if they're dead, because you counterspell something, and at the very least, you're going to get value off of your Thing in the Ice because you get to remove a counter. Because like I said, if there's one deck that has more counterspells than anything else, it's basically Blue Moon. You could even say the snow control decks actually have a pretty good, decent chunk of counterspells. But and those control decks can fuel their graveyard with their counterspells to help cast Uro later. And in the Blue Moon decks, they use Thing in the Ice to use their counterspells to remove cards, to remove counters from it, to then quickly attack their opponent. But you can't like play the super long game anymore with your counterspells. It's just not nearly as effective, in my opinion. Great question. Because a long time ago, there was always the possibility to play permission decks. Chad Duchette, thoughts on the impact jumpstart on Historic? I just found out that the most of the cards are going to be there. Honestly, I have not seen all the cards that are going to be legal in Historic. For sure, that's going to shake it up. For sure. I just found out that most of the cards are going to be there. Okay, what is not going to be there? I can't find any information very quickly about this. I can almost just guarantee that, you know, it's going to have... Historic still has, like, how can I put it? It's not a big card pool. So to jam, like, 500 cards in there is going to be, like, insane. It's going to be... well, I mean, it's not... I guess it's not 500 new cards. I'm seeing that here on, like, Google, because there's a lot of reprints for Historic that they already put in there. But it's gonna shake things up. Definitely. Good morning, Fish Fam, coming from Cody Visger. Good morning, Cody. Good morning. Yeah, too bad Twitch has a problem with double streaming, but you know, that's how they want to make their money. If you want to take advantage of Twitch, they want you to make them the money. The money. Subsonic Squad. How competitive is Black-White Eldrazi Taxes in the current modern metagame? So Eldrazi Taxes, for the most part, is incredibly good against creature-based decks, like small creature-based decks, because things like Wasteland Strangler eat up things for like -3/-3. Here are the biggest competitors right now for Black-White Taxes. Snow Control, Eldrazi Tron, and I would say Burn. Those are like 3 heavy-hitting decks. And I don't know if any of those matchups are particularly great. So against the top 3 decks, you better have like a good plan against them. And I don't know if they have that great of a plan. Okay, like Leonin Arbiter is not too bad. Leonin Arbiter into, like, you know, might be a fine plan against Eldrazi Tron. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I will say this much. I have not seen Black-White Eldrazi Taxes in a long time. Not a long, long time. That being said, maybe people haven't innovated since the printing of Stoneforge Mystic. There's probably... Like, I lost to a Black-White Death and Taxes deck not too long ago. You know, replace the Death and Taxes part with the Eldrazi, and maybe there's something there. So, definitely something. Sideshow Acid says, please stay on YouTube. Yeah, but I got to work on Twitch. We got to grind that Twitch. Anyone here from Germany? Lassie is from Germany. The German Lassie. Dimitri Brown, no, I'm not. I'm going to cancel the stream for today. I'm going to cancel the stream. I don't want to set up OBS to get it set up on YouTube and then I have to reset it. Well, I guess I don't have to reset it up. No, I would still have to reset something up for Twitch. So we're just not going to have a leak today, but we will pick it up from where we left off on Friday. Lordless Merfolk shift combo, yes. Well, maybe in Legacy you can do that. Lordless Merfolk is probably possible for Legacy because of Paradigm Shift and True Name Nemesis. So in Modern, it has to be like Inverter of Truth into, what's it called? Thassa's Oracle. Or Emery Artifact Prison. Which Modern Merfolk do you think they will reprint next in the future? Maybe Mirror Regery or Merfolk Sovereign. I think those are two pretty good candidates. They're not aggressively dangerous, and they have not seen any reprints. Like, I know they printed it into Historic, but Mirror Regery has not really been reprinted in Standard or any core set or anything like that. So that is a possibility. I would think those are safe reprints. And they've reprinted Merfolk Sovereign actually a million times. So what's another time? Just throw it into a bunch of other sets. Nicholas Langrock says, I feel like Merfolk has a weird identity problem. Some of them have fish tails, like the ones in Dominaria/Lorwyn, but the Zendikar, Ixalan Merfolk have legs. So, okay, I don't know how true this is, because I think I heard this from someone who heard this from someone who heard this from someone. But to move the story forward for Merfolk, they wanted Merfolk to have like a good presence and part of the story on Zendikar. To do that, they need legs. They need to be on the land. So that is why they took like a bit of a humanoid approach to Merfolk, which didn't work out too bad. You know what? Like, merfolk with legs, we as a merfolk community are okay with this. Like, we're okay with is this the no, okay, hold on. Let's just look at Master of the Pearl Trident. So like, let's look at this Master of the Pearl Trident. Like, we're pretty cool with this merfolk having legs. It's okay. It's not weird. It's not that weird. Maybe it's because of Aquaman, I don't know. But we're okay with it having legs. But Wizards, so I heard it was because of the story that they had to give merfolk legs. And then we look at, like, I don't what is a sliver that ended up they turned humanoid? Mutagenic sliver? Is that a sliver? Mutasliver? See, like, okay, so here's the thing with slivers. They've got this sort of insect alien look here, you see? It's a very defining look. They look very unique and defining. But eventually, they screwed it up. Where is one of these stupid, ugly-looking slivers? These are all the old slivers. Still all the old slivers. Like, look at these slivers. Oh, here we go. Now we're getting something that looks more human. Where are they for a split second they made, yeah, here, look at this sliver with legs and a head with hair. What the hell is going on here? They for a brief moment made slivers like more of a humanoid look, and people were just outraged. Just outraged. How could you do this? Yeah, look at this. What the hell is this? This doesn't look like the sliver. What is this? Okay, look. Here's a great comparison. This is what a sliver looks like. This is what something... I don't know where... This is just bizarre. This is like some villain from Spider-Man or something. I don't know. They don't even look the same. So anyway, merfolk community definitely accepted the humanoid look very easily. It's not done with all of them. But so I don't know really the difference between the two. But for the story, they needed to have legs. They needed to have legs. What do you think of a merfolk Foundry Street Denizen, since we rule a merfolk champion of the parish as too powerful? That's like a bad Mausoleum Wanderer, I think. It's still going to be hard to attack into creatures like that. I don't think it will cut it. Honestly, I don't think it's going to cut it. We need something a little bit more impactful. I don't think it's going to cut it. Because I think at this point I would just run green to play Cometa Speaker, and it would be more guaranteed. Because we can't play multiple creatures a turn anyway. Can you try to play Canlander with Merfolk? I have no idea what that is. I still don't know what that is. Oh, Canadian. Oh, is it Canadian Highlander? I can't because there's no community online, as far as I know. No community. I'm just going to play the 1 versus 1. Interesting format, but there's no community online, as far as I know. Gabriel, back to YouTube just temporarily. We're going to be back to Twitch tomorrow. Is your belly button an innie or an outie? I am an innie. I'm an innie. I have an innie. Can Gobos be tier 1 now? Absolutely. It probably is. It might. I think the only thing Goblins has to fear is that it's so good that people are going to overcompensate to kill it. Like, hey, make no mistake. Plague Engineer is still a beating. It's still a beating for any deck. And I think actually that's something we should all fear. If people need to fight Goblins, then they're going to be bringing back all the hate that splashes against us. And frankly, I don't mind piles of removal and sweepers and stuff like that. That's normal for the Merfolk player. We deal with that all the time. But it's the Plague Engineer, that's a problem, and I hate that. And you need like very unique answers in order to beat it. And maybe we're gonna have to bring out more creatures that are immune, like, I don't know, Thassa, God of the Sea, and Brazen Borrowers in order to beat it. What's the first deck you'll make on M21 Standard? Still Merfolk. Probably, I'm going to try Simic. I'm going to try a Simic build. We're going to go beefy, and I'm going to have main deck Shaper Sanctuary. I'm going to go Silver Gillless with main deck Shaper Sanctuary and see how well that does. D-Ty asking, anyone else have doubts about paper magic lately? So I think this is a concern a lot of people have about paper magic, and this is just a temporary thing. Paper magic will come back. You know, I was talking about this with a lot of other people. Okay, let's say in theory, all local game stores shut down. They're all gone. They all went out of business. But when the world crisis ends, people are going to want to play Magic. Like, they're waiting. They are waiting for it. They haven't necessarily, like, the people who want to go out to play in person and join a community, that cannot be replaced by anything online. So there's a lot of things that people will adapt online that they'll replace what they did before, like maybe certain shopping habits, whatever. But if they still want that community in-person engagement, they still got to go somewhere to do that. And at the very least, once that happens, once everyone can go out and travel outside, there's going to be a market for game stores again, and then someone will open up a game store, and then it's going to be overflowing with people, and then they're going to open up another game, and then someone else will open up another game store. So anyway, this is my opinion that paper magic, it's gonna survive. It already is proving to be very popular because more people right now are buying into Commander to play with their friends locally. So people can still get into groups of 4 and 5. They have no problem with that. And therefore the prices of all the Commander cards have just skyrocketed. I mean, let's go to fusiongaming.com, my favorite local game store. They're like so sold out of so many things. Keep in mind, these are Canadian prices that I'm about to show you. Oh, it's not loading yet. You gonna load or what? Okay, here we are. Like, I was looking up Commander cards. I want Consecrated Sphinx. Can I get a Consecrated Sphinx, please? Nope. Sold out. Sold out. Sold out. Everything's sold out. I want... Give me a... What's it called? Oh, how about Mox Diamond? I want a Mox Diamond. Can I get a Mox Diamond? Nope. Sold out. How about Gaia's Cradle? Even these super expensive cards. Nope, sold out. Just completely sold out. How about... Okay, how about other staples I was looking for? I wanted things like Cyclonic Rift. Completely sold out. All versions. It's all gone. It's all gone. So the point is, like, Paper Magic is in really good shape right now. It's in really, really, really good shape. People want to play Paper Magic. So paper's going to be around. Paper's going to be around. I would not be too afraid. Like, if it feels like there's no Paper Magic right now, this is a very temporary thing, and Paper Magic will survive very deep into the very far-reaching future. So I wouldn't be too concerned. I know a lot of people are concerned about it, but I'm not concerned, and certainly the buying habits of everyone else, including myself. I just bought a Commander deck, and I can't even get all these other staples because they're just, everyone else is buying them as well. Just shows that Paper Magic thriving, still thriving, even during a pandemic. Boomerang isn't in Modern, is it? It is in Modern. It's a Modern legal card. It's just hard to justify over, say, anything else, really. It's the only advantage is it can bounce lands, but it costs an extra blue to do that. It requires 2 blue. Wow, he's like 10 minutes behind on these questions. Never going to get to these. All right, got to get through these questions. 300 new cards, and Amonkhet is coming in August. Are you looking forward to Ballista? No, I am not looking forward to Ballista. But on Magic, on Historic Merfolk, it's mostly Lords, so Ballista is not going to be as big of a pain, I don't think. And also, there's like no Tron lands and stuff like that. There's like no infinite mana combos, so I think the decks that abuse Ballista aren't going to be able to take advantage of them nearly as well as they used to. Is it okay to eat? Actually, hold on. I should post on YouTube that you're going live on Twitch. Good idea. You know, I'll try that. Is it okay to eat salmon toast while watching your stream, or is it considered cannibalism? There's a little bit of debate among this within the community. I think the overall the overall consensus, but I don't know how much, is that it's not cannibalism, because what do merfolk eat? What are they, vegetarians, or do they just eat seaweed or something? They probably eat other fish. Can you do a Canadian Highlander merfolk? Just one video for content, but like I need to find someone who plays Canadian Highlander. It might be too much work. I will, and I still don't even know if the 1v1 content is popular enough. Let me know what you think about the 1v1 commander stuff, if you like it or not, because I'm just like beating up on ponies, basically. It's basically all that I'm doing. That's what I've been doing for a little while. Can you play a quick chess blitz from time to time? It's off brand, so no. I used to do that. I used to do that at the end of my 5th video in a league. I would play chess, and the viewership just collapsed down to like 10 to 5%, and that's not good for the YouTube algorithm. They do not like that. They do not like that, so I stopped doing it. What do you think about blue, green, and white with Mariner? I already answered this question. It's already getting results, so it's possible. It's possible. You know, you can sell me on anything so long as you get results with it. I personally am not going to try it yet because I don't see enough out of Mariner. I would rather just play blue-green. It's not clear to me that Mariner actually protects you enough from burn after you're taking extra damage to splash Mariner. That's my issue. But if you can get enough results with it, and certainly taxes Walking Ballista as well, hey, I'm all for it. What do you think about Mill Merfolk from Lorwyn, and do they count as Lords, Drowner of Secrets? I do believe that this deck is garb. This it just doesn't work. Like, for Mill right now, just doesn't work in Modern. So I cannot see Merfolk Mill being any better. I've seen people try, and they have had no success whatever with that thing. So unfortunately, it looks like a cool strategy, but it's hard to make Mill work. Like, just period, making Mill work. So Mill Merfolk doesn't really get... There's no advantage splashing Merfolk to make the milling happen, especially after they kill your creatures. Nikachu, you've posted some videos on 2x Modern, but what do you think of 7-point Modern, placing point values on cards in the way Australian Highlander is? I think that is a fine way of doing things. I think it's possible. If we can divvy up the power level of cards into a point system, I would be all for that. I think that would be fine. I think Wizards should start exploring different ways to manage the power level of cards without banning cards. I do think we are at a point where we need to start doing that. I think we're there. I think we're there. But the problem is, like, still, let's say you give what about 7-point Modern? So, like, let's say you're only given 7 points and you give Oko 7 points. Like, still, 4 Oko in a deck still might be like way too much. It still might be way too strong, because you get it so consistently. It's so easy to get to an Oko if you use the London Mulligan on any regular basis. Wukish Ijiak says, dude, Paper Magic is the only way I want to play, and it's killing me I can't play. Built 2 new decks and can't even play them. You can't get well, I don't know what I'm assuming you're from Poland, given your name. You can't visit anyone in Poland. I don't know. I'm actually not familiar with how the world crisis is right there. But you gotta find a playmate or something to play Magic. Kyoma asks, what kind of advice would you give someone who wants to attend a GP for the first time? Just do it. Do not be afraid. Don't be too intimidated by a Grand Prix. Just don't. It's a gigantic F&M played at competitive REL. And just remember, if you screw up or something, you don't play by maybe you didn't play by the rules, your opponent called a judge on you. It's all good. It's okay. Don't worry. You're not going to get disqualified or anything like that. The judges will be pretty relatively lenient. For the most part, I would say just don't be intimidated. Try to enjoy yourself. and it is not as dangerous as people make it out to me. It's not like if let's say the GP brings out 1,500 people, it's not like it's 1,500 pros, and you're gonna be playing against a pro player every single round. No, you're gonna be playing against like mostly people like yourself. There's like maybe 2,000 out of 1,500 people, maybe about 1,000, maybe about 150 good competitive players. The odds of you playing against one, I mean, you can, but like, you know, out of the first 9 rounds, not very good. Not really. Not very, you'll play against one, but you'll play against mostly people around probably your own skill level for the most part. Just try to be familiar with competitive REL rules. If you're not, you might have some experience if you've played in any sort of IQs or any events locally that have a top 8. So, but whatever. Do your best. Have fun. Make sure you play some side events also to enjoy yourself. And also, you don't have to play in the main event, by the way. I mean, I understand you want to attend the GP for the first time, but you don't have to do that. You can just go play millions of side events. They're very lucrative. They're actually cheaper than the GP overall in terms of like, because if you attend the GP, the odds of you getting your money back are not good. Even for myself, like if I attend a GP, the odds of me getting my money back are not good. I'm in it for the glory. I'm playing the GP because I want to have a chance of getting my deck list published, to make a top 8, to make a name for myself. The odds I make money are not good. That's not the way to make money. If you want to make money, you play in the side events. Entry is relatively cheap. Prizes are very large. That's where you want to be. So that's my advice. Hopefully that was good and useful and valuable to you. And with that, we're going to take a nice, delicious sip of my coffee. Delicious coffee. I enjoy it very much. We're having a great conversation today. Thank you, everyone, submitting questions. I hope everyone else has very similar questions that are on their mind. Because that's the thing. There's a lot of people with very similar questions on their mind, but they never ask anybody to get answers. Hopefully I can be the person answering those questions. Wait, what? Amonkhet is coming out in August? What does this mean? I'm confused. I think what they meant is Amonkhet is going to be released on MTG Arena in August. So, like, they're just making the cards available. I think they already have Amonkhet coded, but they're releasing it on Arena. So it's not coming out in standard or anything like that. It's not like there's a reprint of Amonkhet happening in paper. Lord Magicus says, Lord Magicus is like, fish are friends, not food. Not food. But look, we have other people saying, I love sushi. So Monster says, really dig the 1 versus 1 EDH. I have to say, I like the format. I really do. I do like this 1 versus 1 format. And like, I'm already digging in my brain how to like make my deck better and stronger. You know, I want to add Rishid Import, make it more mana efficient, add more enchantments. I'm going to play with River Merfolk. You want to see what this card is? River Merfolk? I'm going to play with River Merfolk. Boom! In my 1 versus 1 commander deck. Doesn't look impressive. Double blue, 2/1 creature. It's a Merfolk. I can pay a blue to give it Mountain Walk. But the important thing about this is that it has devotion. The devotion is important. I looked up every double blue creature that exists in Magic. There aren't many. There aren't. Turns out Merfolk is already using them. Between Lord of Atlantis, Master of the Pearl Trident, Harbinger of the Tides, Merfolk Trickster, Tidebinder Mage, there just aren't that many double blue creatures, and I really need the devotion. When I get Thassa online in 1 versus 1 commander, I blow people away, so I need to jam more of these double blue cards. And you know what? Even if it's a damn 2/1, it's good enough. It's going in. It's going in, people. Spike Feeders, we're doing Canadian Highlander. If you want to do another cross-content video, hey, if they ask me to do something with them, I'm all for it. I'm all for that. Plus, I'm in the same city as them, so I could actually go to their studio. Or they can go to me. We can wear masks in the same video. Other GP things, get good proper sleep the day before. This is just good competitive advice, period. If you want to do well in a tournament, make sure you sleep well. I guess there is one added thing you have to consider when you go to a Grand Prix, because you're usually traveling with people. Travel with people that will let you sleep. There's going to be some people who will stay up all night because they want to keep adjusting their deck or just party or do something stupid. Then there's another range of people that they snore and you can't sleep through that. And then, well, then if you don't sleep, then you're just not going to play very well. Then I think those are basically the two most prominent things to think about when you are considering your sleep strategy at a Grand Prix. Some monster thought the EDH video was cool. Okay, thank you for the feedback. Maybe we can have that once in a while. Tell you, the stream was pretty poor, but that's okay. Or no, maybe the stream was okay. Maybe the stream wasn't any different from any of my other streams. Tribal Matters MTG, I'd love to see you on Pleasant Kenobi's EDH and chill. Well, he sort of invited me. He invited me a long time ago. He asked me on Twitter, do you play EDH? And I'm like, I did once. And then the conversation just sort of died after that. But like I made people tagged me with Pleasant Kenobi, so maybe we can get something going again. It's possible. I think he's willing to have me so long as I had like a commander deck, and I was like, because I think it might have been too much to ask me, hey, do you want to build a commander deck and learn how commander works and then play commander? But you know, now I'm a little bit deeper in the format instead of not being in it at all. So some local game stores are coming back. July, can't wait for July. My local game store is going to back Modern finally. Oh, did you have the question marks, Alex? Did you have the question marks? Look, Subsonic has the question marks before and after the question. This helps me find your questions, Alex. You gotta have it. Helps me a lot because like there's a lot of comments in the chat. So if you don't have the question marks, I cannot see it, or I have a higher chance of missing it. Oh, Wukash! Now I know who you are. Yes, and I sold you the promo bolts. You don't play online? What's going on? What's going on, Wukash? You should play online. So if you play predominantly in paper, well, I don't think you're gonna have to wait too long. Like Winnipeg is clearing. Like we're like getting back to normal, like really, really quickly. Like Winnipeg is a super isolated city. We have very few cases and very few deaths of the world crisis virus, and we are very, very quickly going back to normal. Like they're opening up our city really, really fast. So I don't know if it's going to be too long until you can play paper again. I think us in Winnipeg, we're in like a way better position to like get back to paper Magic before the rest of the world. That's for sure. What did I miss? Is there a reason why you only play 3x Cavern of Souls? Okay, so that's a good question. I want enough blue sources to still be able to cast things like Force Negation and Deprive. And 3 is greedy. 2 is like safe, but 3 is greedy. Right now I'm playing... Okay, I'll tell you. For counter spells, I feel comfortable having 14 blue sources. That's my limit. I want 14 blue sources. If I have 13... Deprive is going to be clunky. Casting Force Negation is going to be clunky. So I'm playing with 3 Mutavault, 3 Cavern of Souls. That's 6 pieces of brown mana in a 20 land deck. I still meet my 14 blue source requirement for myself. Only 3x Cavern of Souls. So if I want to go to 14, if I want to play 4 Cavern of Souls, I have to bump out another island, which I'm just not willing to do. I think 3 is a lot, though. I think 3 is a lot. I don't think there's nothing wrong with 3 Cavern of Souls in the Merfolk deck, especially since we already have Flash Creatures, Aether Vial. I think we're doing okay there. Oh, this caught my eye. Nick Barth says, my first GP, I got judges called on me a couple times for noob things. At first, I was like, oh no, I'm going to be kicked out. But the judges are pretty nice to rookies, especially in the side events. I think Grand Prix Day 1, they're also pretty lenient. They might be harsh on Grand Prix Day 2 because that's played at a professional level, not even competitive REL. like they should be more hard. They technically should be more harsh in day one, but they're just not. They sort of understand like this is just a giant F&M. And also just keep in mind, you can only get in trouble if you make the same mistake over and over again. Aside from that, you can like rack up a million different game rule violations. Now don't abuse the system, because if you get investigated, then you can get like banned if it's clear that you keep making really stupid mistakes. But aside from that, like it's all good. And also keep in mind, the side events are run at regular REL. That means you can screw up a million times. You can make as many mistakes as you want, and it doesn't matter. Because it's regular REL. It's just like it's the same rules enforcement level like your F&M. How about a list with Bolt and Cometa Speaker? Very hard to make work. Maybe it's possible, but very difficult to make work. Tyler Lee, do you have any interest in the financial side of Magic? If so, what's your top 5 parked money cards? Probably my top 5 parked money cards, probably like Underground Sea, Gaia's Cradle, and stuff like that. So my the extent to me having a financial side of Magic is if I buy cards, I have no problem buying cards if I think they're going to improve in value. And that's why I have no problem buying maybe some, like I might be interested in getting like a Mox Diamond for Commander, because Mox Diamond is, for example, a reserved list card. And even if I'm not playing with it or I don't play with Commander, I know that the card can still increase in value in the long run, even if I have one copy. So like just in case I have a Gaia's Cradle, hey, you never know if I play Simic Merfolk in some other format, Simic Merfolk in Commander, I can use the guy. I could potentially use the Gaia's Cradle. So and I got this thing a long time ago. But that would be the only. I'm not like super deep into the financial side of Magic, but I am always considering like what I'm spending money on. Like if I buy this card, or I will be more comfortable buying into cards that I know will probably increase in value in the long run versus like buying cards that are just going to die. Like for example, I mean, this is one of the reasons I don't play Standard really, because like the money you spend on Standard, and I'm not playing Magic like religiously to get my value out of Standard. So I prefer Modern, because if I buy into any cards for Modern, at least I'm going to get value out of them for like at least another year or two or so. So that's one way of looking at it. That's how I look at it. But I'm not like super heavily invested in any particular cards. But like for example, I was interested in getting into Legacy, and I could see that like, hey, these Legacy cards keep going up, and they're on the reserve list. All right, I better buy into all the dual lands, because I don't know what I'm going to play in Legacy. Might as well. It's just like how Modern players buy all the fetch lands and all the shock lands, and then they'll build a deck around them. They can build a deck around whatever they want because they have the mana base, and I took the same approach with Legacy. Where are we here? We're having great questions. We every single day we have like really good conversations about Magic. Paul Martin says, what do you consider a reasonable amount of playtesting using your deck before a mid-sized or fairly large competitive REL event? At least 2 weeks. Like, let's say, okay, so here's how I'll put it. If you're playing a deck for the first time, like you decide, okay, I'm a Jund player and now I want to play Infect, 1 month. Start play testing a month ahead, so you have a reasonable chance of like learning and knowing the deck by the time you get to your event. Now, let's say you are a Jund specialist, like Jund pretty well, and you just want to have it tuned for your event. I would say somewhere between 1 to 2 weeks would be reasonable to play test, especially the last week. Like, especially in the last week, that will be the freshest metagame that you could play test for. But definitely don't like dump a deck for a new deck out of nowhere. Like I highly dissuade anyone for swapping their deck at last minute, like 1 day before the event. That is a very bad idea. I think that's a very bad idea. Would love to see EDH and chill with Nikachu. Well, hello, Pamuki. Well, hello there. Mutavault is hard nowadays. It is hard. It's actually it's not the glorifying thing that it used to be. I will admit. That's why I'm only running 3. And Tuxdev is on 2. Tuxdev is on 2. Do you like fish sticks? Yes. I don't eat them very often, but yes, I do eat them. But I do like them. How many counters is too many in the main deck? I'm assuming you're talking about merfolk. Probably 6. 7 definitely. 6 is definitely pushing it. I could see a world with 3. Okay, I'll tell you this much. I'm comfortable with 3 to 4. 5, I can see a world. Maybe you need an extra counterspell for a particular deck, or maybe it's like the metagame's heavy on control and combo, you want extra counterspells. And I could see 6 as well. You could have like 4 Chalice of the Void, 2 Force Negation. 7 is probably pushing it. Now we're going pretty stupid. That would need to be incredibly meta dependent. So right at 7, you definitely have gone a little bit too far. Can you recommend any merfolk theme movies? Nope. I don't know. The Little Mermaid, Aquaman. I'm just basically throwing out whatever exists. Do you consider coming to GP Taipei again? If they hold it again. They didn't hold it this year. And they are probably... I don't know if they'll hold it next year. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But I will pretty often go to Taiwan on a semi-regular basis. And I would most definitely build my vacation around Grand Prix Taipei. All right, so I think that's going to be it for today. Thank you very much for watching me. We had a great conversation. We had great questions. And not only that, remember, I'm not going to do any gameplay streaming today, but we will continue that on Friday on Twitch. Just a reminder, we usually, we definitely have Coffee and MTG every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Please find me on twitch.tv/NikachuMTG. It's not that hard. Register that Twitch account. Come on, do it if you want to be part of the action here. And I'm sure you all love this. You all love being here live. And you're going to love me on Twitch as well. Find me at twitch.com/NikachuMTG. And in general, we stream on Twitch Monday, whoops, no, not this one. Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 1 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. Not today, but usually we do. And if you want to support the show, don't forget, you can subscribe to me. You can subscribe to me on Twitch, twitch.tv/NikachuMTG, or you can also go to patreon.com/NikachuMTG. Love to thank everyone who showed up today. We had a great time. We had a great conversation. I loved every single one of the questions. We had a lot of fun. And hope that if you found that valuable, don't forget to give a like. Give a like to the live stream. It will still show up on the video. And I will see you all next time. So take care, everyone, and have fun. See you later.